Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the podcast. You know what I mean? My name is Andre Fox. We just had some technical difficulties over here on my end, but this is my guest, Maeve.
Yeah, 100%. So my name's Maeva. I've been in online business and have been running a few online businesses for around 2 years now. I'm still like a very young girl, still 16, but have gone through a lot of experience, have learned so many things, and yeah, I'm still in the process of scaling everything up, but I feel like I've learned a lot through the process. So, I'm happy to share everything.
Yeah. I kind of just wanted to start off with a simple question.
100%.
Where did you grow up?
Yes, so I grew up in Bangkok, Thailand. That's still exactly where I live. I don't know if you can tell from the background, but I grew up
Mhm.
here, was raised here. I'm half French, half Thai, but I've been living here the whole time. Yeah, I can see you got a cat.
Okay.
My cat's sitting right there, so that I'm trying to talk. But yeah, been living in Bangkok, Thailand, but I will probably be leaving next year to travel a
You're
bit.
gonna be leaving? Why?
Yeah, because I'm gonna be graduating and I've got my online business. Really, all I gotta do is just at this point, I'm just gonna, leave, travel, see the world, see where money takes me.
Yeah. If I really wanted to go to Bali, once I started up my
I'm
like
going to
marketing
college this
agency.
summer, yeah, to see
Yeah.
what it's like. Cause I'm hesitating between three different locations, which I'm all gonna be visiting. I'm hesitating between Phuket, which I've been to many times, Bali, which I'm going to like literally next month, and I'm gonna be going to Dubai in October for my birthday to see what it's like as well. So it's good that obviously I'll be able to see these places beforehand and check them
Yeah.
out, which place will really be a good new home for me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, all of them sound really good, to be honest with you. That's gotta be exciting. That's gonna be that's gonna be
It is
exciting.
going to be exciting, but I mean, at the same time, like different places fit different people, right? So you got to see what fits best for you. That's why I decided that I was going to go see everything before I actually make the decision to move there. So I think that's going to be really helpful as well.
I mean, like, how do you feel? You know what I mean? Like, how
Feel
does
about like graduating and moving out in a year?
yeah, like how do you just like feel at this moment? You know what I mean? Like,
I
is it
feel
stressful? Is it like,
so that's the thing as an entrepreneur is you don't really know what you're feeling. You're just like feeling a bunch of stuff, right? So
mhm.
I guess in terms of moving out, I'm very excited, but I'm also very scared because obviously it's not something that I've ever done before. I have my siblings that are in university and I'm obviously like not going down that route. So I'm just gonna be, like risking everything, as what people say, risking everything, don't go to uni, whatever. So I'm gonna be risking everything and just traveling, seeing where that takes me. So I'm very, very excited. At the moment, I would say that I'm very grateful because I just had a call with my client right now, and I was the one telling her this. She was talking to me about how she was overwhelmed and she wanted to take like a few days off because of how many conversations and leads she had to handle. And I was like, isn't that such a good problem to have?
Yeah, like,
Like flooded with work, like isn't that just so amazing? So I feel very grateful at the moment knowing that I just have all this work and all these things ahead of me.
yeah. Do you have any employees under you, or is it just you?
No, just me right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
Um, I don't think I'll be hiring anytime soon. I feel like when it comes to online business, and especially if you want to get into this field, you gotta know what you're
right.
doing first, right, before you
Yeah.
delegate. And once you physically cannot handle certain processes and certain like operations, that's when it's a good time to delegate. Right now, I can handle everything. I feel like later on, since I'm doing one-on-one coaching as a career at the moment, I feel like later on, once I need employees, it would have to be at the point where I physically cannot handle like doing the work.
Yeah. You'd like literally just have so many calls where it's like, I can't.
Yeah, so if you, at the moment, like let's even for like the next like 2, 3 months or so, if you text me on Instagram and I respond to you, that will be me. Like for example, like right now, I
Yeah.
don't have an appointment setter. If you hop on a call with me and you're interested in working with me, you will be talking to me, right? Because that's the importance of one-on-one work, is you got to have that relationship. Later on,
Yeah.
once you scale and you get into like group coaching, that's when you can actually delegate, make it like a more professional corporate company and whatnot.
Yeah. But to be honest, I'm kind of liking this like area. At least me and you are kind of, and you're way farther than me into it. But like you're in this area where it's like you're making enough money where you can sustain what you want to do and still be authentic. You know what I mean? It's not like a business run Instagram account. It's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And that's like the approach that I get everybody to follow is it's personal branding, right? That's how you're actually able to build a good coaching business because I don't just I don't know if like you've done research on my page, but basically what I do is I help people and like nine to five workers build a personal brand and build an online coaching business around it, right? So everything ties back to your personal brand. It ties back to you, your authenticity, your story, your values, and everything that you provide. So that's the really good thing about personal branding is you can be very authentic and all the work that you do is like purely out of your heart. If you don't like changing lives, if you get tired of like having to talk to people, then it's not
Yeah,
for you. But if you love changing lives, you love interacting, you love building relationships, it's definitely for you.
yeah. I mean, that's really a good analysis of what personal
Mhm.
branding is, because you're just getting so much attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously. And you gotta be careful of the attention that you get because from the get-go, you gotta know who you want to get attention from, right? If you actually want to build a business around it, you gotta know who you're targeting and you gotta make sure that you're bringing in the right people. Yeah, I would say in terms of attention, it's great to have a lot of followers or whatever, but you gotta make sure that it's high quality as well. Because at that point, like if your following is low quality, there's no money in there. So yeah.
Yeah. And do you do you have any regrets so far? Like, I know that sounds bad, but like, yeah, like, is there anything that in the past like 2 years that you feel like it wasn't so much a regret, but you could have done better?
You will always feel like you could have done something better. Like even like yesterday, I feel like I could have acted better, I could have presented myself better. You will always feel that way and that will never go away, right? But that's the mind of an entrepreneur is you will never be happy with the position that you are in. And that's like the toughest part, right? Like I know for a fact that the version of me 6 months ago would literally kill to be where I am right now. And like obviously right now I'm not like a absolute multimillionaire or whatever, but you know, you got to be able to have that gratitude with the same eagerness and drive to always want to be better. And a good quote that I like to reference that to is I'm far from the rest, but I'm also far from my best. So you always got to have that
Hmm.
mindset. Like, yeah, you are doing great. You know, you are running an online business and you are absolutely crushing it. You're going to keep crushing it, but don't let that hold you back. You got to keep going no matter what. But don't knock yourself out either. Like, don't like, don't like try and self-sabotage yourself. Don't try and like criticize yourself because you're working, it's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's very inspirational to see someone this young doing this, to be honest with you. And especially like, I don't know, you've just like done it in such of a like you don't need no fancy editing. Your videos aren't fancy at all. They're just like
Hmm.
straight text, straight
Hmm.
talking to the camera and that nice ass background and people are just like boom. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the thing. When I work with my clients, for example, and they start like talking to me about the editing, it's not about the editing, it's about what you say in it. So, in terms of creating content, people think that content is about like the actual visuals of it. It's not about that. The content is what you say. That's the context, that's the context. That's what you need to be focusing on. And I understood that, first of all, views does not even matter. I was never focused on the views itself. When you're first starting out and you're actually trying to blow up, then that's when you can actually like start focusing on it. But at the end of the
Hmm.
day, when it comes to like the model that I preach, which is being able to monetize it, that doesn't matter if you have like a few thousand followers, it doesn't matter if you have hundreds of thousands, if you don't have that much, you need to focus on quality to be able to convert everything. So numbers didn't really matter to me. I just was so focused on what I was saying. And if it hits somebody to want to work with me, there you go. That's all I need.
Yeah. Like that okay. That's pretty simple. I mean, I
Hmm.
feel like I've
Straightforward, yeah.
heard multiple people say that and like yeah. It's just it's became more and more true over the past like 6 months to me, almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And most people will never realize it. But if you do, you've got the secret weapon to take advantage of it?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, also, do you have any religious beliefs? I feel like that's an important question that people would want to know. Do you have any
so
religious beliefs?
I'm still in the process of trying to educate myself on different religious structures. I personally grew up Buddhist because that's what my family, like my mom, let's say, was kind of around. But then I started to realize one thing that I learned from like my personal experience, I'm not gonna like offend anybody with
Hmm.
this. Buddhism is I would say less of a religion and more of a way of life, right? So that's sort of where like I got a little bit lost. I've always had these super strong morals, and recently, like let's say for the past 2, 3 years, I've had very, very strong faith in God. So I would say that I'm very faithful in terms of religious structures and practices. I'm still like trying to educate myself on that and find like the right path, or overall just like stay faithful. But one thing that I will tell
Mhm.
you is I got a tattoo a few days ago that says Soldier of God. And that alone just like sort of
That's so
reflects
weird. I
my
had that in my bio.
really.
I had
Yeah,
that in
so
my bio for the longest.
that's the first tattoo I ever got. It was dedicated to my faith. And I think the reason, the way that I got that faith was by doing entrepreneurship. It was by being like at the rock bottom of my businesses, and I literally had nothing but God. So the way I was able to build myself back up, that was all purely faith. So I'm extremely faithful in terms of religion. I'm still like trying to educate myself on that.
Yeah, I would say like I don't. Have you ever? Are you starting to like look into like the manifestation stuff? We've all been there. Like we've looked at like the like, oh yeah, you manifest your life type thing. You know what I mean? And like
I've got
I'm
mixed
not.
opinions of that.
Yeah, like I don't. I just want to hear your opinions on it. Like, what do you think?
I've got a lot of mixed opinions on this whole manifestation thing, where if you just believe it, you'll get it, which is not true at
Yeah,
all, right? A lot of people make it seem like so easy. Manifestation is just following the right framework, putting in a hell lot of work to make it happen, and that's it. Manifestation is literally just putting in the work and getting a result out of it. The result that you get is what you've manifested. But none of that happens if you don't work. So people think that you can just like have that mindset and belief and whatever, but that belief means absolutely nothing until you put in the work. Just like how, for example, people will come up to you and tell you they have an incredible business idea. Sometimes you gotta humble them. Sometimes you gotta tell them like it means nothing until you put in the work. So same thing with
right.
your dreams. It's good to have that commitment, but you gotta follow it. You gotta actually put in the work. And the only way that you'll be able to manifest your dream life is to actually make it happen by actually putting in the right work that is required for you to get that result. That's it. This is so simple. That's exactly what manifestation is. And most people like
Yeah,
don't see it that way. But it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to manifest. So you gotta put in the work. That's it.
yeah. That I feel like that is a big part that people are missing definitely when they talk about manifesting because they just sit there and they're like, yeah, like
Like
if I
manifesting my dream
believe,
life. Yeah. And
yeah,
then it's
if I
not enough.
believe.
You gotta actually like do it.
Hello, dear. She's always in my business, man. Like literally every time I record videos,
That's your
always.
business partner right there. Mine's sleeping. It never comes to serve me.
What made you different? Because I mean, obviously, like you couldn't tell yourself from a third person perspective, but what made you different when you realized you were different? You know what I mean? Like when you sat there in your room and you're like, I'm different from where I was before. And then what was that thing? You know what I mean?
In terms of what makes me different from other creators, or what made me realize that I changed as a person.
That you changed as a person.
I think when it comes to entrepreneurship, you gotta have that eagerness to work so much that all you're focusing on is the next step. Or you're not focused on anything else. All you're focused on is the next step. And you only really realize in the middle of it, when you kind of take a second to look back. And I'm kind of like getting that realization right now. You kind of take a second to look back and think, I am nowhere near, or I am not the person that I was 3 months ago. You have that slight moment of realization that might not mean a lot, but it says a lot. Right? Just like how for like, for example, right now, I can think of 2 months ago when I was like struggling to book calls and I was struggling to do all of this. And now I'm able to hop on calls with my clients. I'm able to hop on calls with people, sign them as a client, and like everything's going great. But yet I'm still focused on the next step. Like, how am I going to scale? How am I going to, add a new operation? And then I take a second and think, wait, the person I was 2 months ago would freak out about where I am right now. So I guess it's just that like moment of realization where you see the progress you've made, and then you understand that the version of you 2 months ago wouldn't have not been able to do this. It's all about the self-development that comes throughout that journey. So I think it's just these tiny little moments that might not mean a lot, that might not seem to mean a lot, but they do mean a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy to see progress inside of people. I love doing this podcast because honestly,
Mhm.
it's my goal as a podcast owner to like come to you and ask you questions about how you got here. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know it, and it's cool to see other people progress because I've followed your content for probably 6 months. Like, I don't just put anybody on my podcast, to be honest with
Mhm.
you. I'm very picky about who I want on my podcast. So I've been following you for like 6 months, seeing like, okay, like she does coaching and she's young, so I was like, she would be a good fit.
100%. I appreciate that. You've asked me some really good questions, by the way. You're a
Yeah.
good, let's say, podcast owner.
I did want to ask you like business questions too. Cause
100%. And
like,
throw them at me.
okay, so do you have any other channels? Like any other content or clipping channels?
I have a YouTube channel. I do. The
Okay.
reason why I'm not promoting that yet is because I've been focused on documenting my life so authentically there that that's just what I want to focus on. I just want to make it as authentic as possible. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like later on, once I start using YouTube as a way to sort of provide more value, which is what I've been working on at the moment, that's when I'll
Mm-hmm.
actually be able to promote it on my other socials and, like scale that up.
Yeah. I think I mean, like, I kind of just wanted to share my personal advice because this is what I do. But like, um, I use a content repurposing software. It's like $20 a month for like a
Mhm.
7 account plan and like $150 a month for an agency plan. It's called Repurpose.io.
I've
And
heard
like,
about that.
yeah, like that, I feel like that would help you a lot with just like your style of like vlogging, you know what I mean? It would be able to repurpose clips and then post it on like 7 different accounts. You know
That's
what I
really
mean?
interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've heard about that before, and I think I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. 'Cause like, I don't know, I just want to be helping people out, man. Like,
100%. Yeah.
um, and then my last question to you, I guess, would be that before we go into just like a conversation, the last
Mhm.
essential question I want is, have you sacrificed any part of your past self to become who you were today?
Absolutely. Like, no doubt in that question. Absolutely. I could give you a whole list and go like in depth, but yeah, because the one thing that I learned in terms of entrepreneurship is you will never be able to manifest your dream life. You got to manifest the version of yourself. The best piece of advice that I have ever gotten is that when it comes to business, especially, it's not so much about the different things that you have to do in order to like actually build a business and different operations and all that. But it's more important to actually become the version of yourself who's able to do that. Just like how I had mentioned, the version of me 2 months ago would have no idea how to like handle my clients and all that, right? So you got to be able to become the person who has the character, who has the mindset, who has the eagerness to get what you want. It's all internal, right? Before you're actually able to, let's say, export that into a business, into an operation, it all starts internally. And that's where everything comes from.
Would you say you stopped being nicer? Because that's something I've kind of noticed as like an entrepreneur is I've kind of like stopped being so nice to everybody,
I think
like beating around the bush type thing.
being nice isn't like towards other people or what do you
And
mean?
like just like being like I guess like sugarcoating bad business ideas and like yeah, you'll do it.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think I've ever been nice.
uh
I don't think I've
she
ever like
said I've
had,
never been nice.
I've never been, no, because the thing is, no, not like that, but I've always had like this eagerness to be honest because that's just the truth. Like I've never found myself wanting to lie to sugarcoat things because that's just like simply wrong, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think I've ever tried to sugarcoat things. I would just like be blunt with them because nobody else is gonna be as blunt for you as me. But in terms of character, I don't know if you can tell, I'm very nice to people. I'm kind.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah, in terms of character,
She
I would
said
say I'm kind.
don't say.
But in terms of business, listen, when in terms of business, I will obviously be serious with the work that I do. But when I meet people, like I always like to, make them feel comfortable, put up a good image of myself because this is who I truly am. Like I have that soft heart. I'm not like that super serious businessman that hates their employees. So no, like I'll always be kind. But
You're a
when the
businessman?
sorry?
You're a businessman?
Yeah, like sometimes, yeah, sometimes I got. So yeah, obviously when it comes to business, I gotta have that seriousness and obviously that professionalism. But in terms of character, I'll always like treat my employees, my clients with like the comfort that they need, you know?
Yeah. It yeah. I mean, I don't know. You're just a genuine person. I don't know. I'm enjoying this podcast.
I am enjoying
It,
this podcast as well.
is there anything you're looking forward to doing in the future? Like, you know what I mean? Like near future.
Scaling my business. That's all I can think of. That's all I can think of. It's just like scaling my business. That's like the mindset that you have as an entrepreneur. I mean, when I first
It's
started,
so
the one
real.
thing that I told myself, like in terms of like self-improvement, the
Hmm.
first goal I had was get my dream physique, which I already did. And obviously I don't post it because that's not what my page is about, but I was able to do that first. And now my second goal is just scale my business, which obviously takes a lot longer, but that's what I'm focused on, right? Like really now I guess I'm maintaining my physique. I don't need to grow anymore. Um, in terms of my business, I'm focused on growing it, but I feel like later on, once I'm set at a point, all I have to do is maintain my business and I'll probably have another goal, which is like travel to all these countries and whatever, right? Like there's always different goals in life that take a while to achieve. But yeah, my next goal right now is to scale my business so that I can move out and then travel. So that's like my next goal, let's say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how much are you at? Like, I don't know if you want to put your finances out like that, but like, how much are you at like monthly, averaging?
I can tell you how much I close because when it comes to online coaching, like you will have so many like different deposits and different things that come along. I last not last month, this month I was able to close $10,000 in clients and like signing contracts.
Okay. And then do you just do that by doing coaching calls on how to scale brands and like personal brands?
So essentially when it comes to online, that's all it is really. When it comes to online coaching, all you really got to do is create a program that's been proven to work, right? So for example, I know that the way I got started with all this is I used to run so many different businesses before, which like was a mess, right? But I had this one business, these two businesses in particular that got me a lot of experience. One
Okay.
of them mainly was my content agency. So I was making content for people, I was editing out, I was like scripting everything. So I was able to learn and get all the experience that I needed with that experience of creating content. And I understood like the key to creating content. I was able to apply that for myself because I understood the power of personal branding. I was seeing everybody do it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm missing out.
And
So
then
I was able to,
referrals.
sorry?
Referrals. You get referrals from that too.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, like I was able to apply that for myself, scale that up pretty quickly. It was not like a coincidence because I got the experience and I knew what I was doing, right? And so I was able to scale that up and understand that the second step now was to monetize it. So the framework that I used was what I had learned. I was able to package that up into a program that worked for me. It started working for other people, for my other clients, and that's what I offer now. So I essentially, at the moment, it's one-on-one work. So I work one-on-one with all of my clients to help them build their personal brand and monetize it with online coaching.
Okay. Wow. And then where can these people find you if need be?
Instagram, mostly. Yeah,
Instagram.
Instagram. I'm trying to do another challenge right now because I had only mainly grown on Instagram. I wasn't posting on TikTok at all. I don't know why, but I was mainly focused on Instagram, and I'm thinking of starting another challenge where I will be scaling my TikTok to prove that my strategy works.
Yeah. That would actually be a good little
It would be
challenge.
a good challenge. So no, obviously I am
And
thinking about that. Still in the works of it, but yeah, definitely a next goal.
TikTok is hard too. TikTok is
It's the
hard.
same algorithm. I would say that Instagram and TikTok are the same algorithm. In fact, I would say Instagram is even like harder to grow. I would say TikTok is probably the easiest to grow. It's just like I haven't been posting on that at all. Instagram would be second and third would probably be like YouTube.
YouTube is pretty hard.
Because the thing is,
How's
when
your
it comes
YouTube been going?
I haven't been focused on like growing it at all. All I'm focusing on is just like putting videos out there because essentially I'm treating YouTube as more of a life documentary for my future self, right? And that I'll be able to look back on. Right now, I'm not usually using it as like a business strategy or like an operation. I'm sort of just using it as a platform where I can put videos out there, document my life, and look back on later. So
Okay.
I haven't been focused on growth at all. I think I'm at like 600 something followers. But when it comes to YouTube, basically you need to have like these crazy editing styles. That's one thing I noticed is the YouTube
Yeah.
algorithm really does prefer fancy, flashy edits and all these different things. But when it comes to short form platforms like TikTok or Instagram, they really just want it to be authentic. Like, I don't know if
Okay.
you know, like, I would see it pisses me off as well because I would see videos on TikTok of somebody just like sitting there and get like 2 million likes. And I'm like, what the hell was the point of that? Like, how the hell did you just blow up? Like, it's crazy. Yeah, that's one thing I realized. No.
My God, no.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, but you cut off again.
Okay. Well, hello everybody again. I just had to vanish. You know, I went to the fourth dimension. I had to
Oh
evolve.
wow. Had to escape the Matrix.
Yep.
Fortunate, unfortunate problems.
Okay, I'm back now, man. I just unlocked secret knowledge. It's okay. But I think to be honest, we're gonna end it because my camera keeps cutting off. But
Okay, don't worry.
is there any last statements you would like to say to the world?
Take care of yourself. Don't be a bum. Like go out there, do something. Do something with your life. You can do it. Have faith. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's a great message. A little harsh, but I fuck with it.